Ìyàwó ló ní látọjọ́ tí mo ti rìn. Mi ò rí irú Ọlọ́run yìí rí. Látọjọ́ tí mo ti rìn. Mi ò rí irú Ọlọ́run yìí rí. Èmi tí ò látọjọ́ tí mo ti rìn. Mi ò rí irú Ọlọ́run yìí rí. Látọjọ́ tí mo ti rìn. Látọjọ́ tí mo ti rìn. Èmi ò rí rí. Èmi ò máa rí irú Ọlọ́run mi rí. Gbogbo ọ̀rẹ́ ọ̀kadà. Látọjọ́ tí mo ti rìn. Ìyàwó ọ̀kan mi yọ nínú Olúwa. Orí ọjà yìí ló kù mí. Òun rẹ̀ dùn púpọ̀ láti lọ. Adé ní láti lójú rẹ̀. Èmi yọ nínú rẹ̀. Èmi yọ nínú rẹ̀. Ayọ̀kọ̀ lọ́kọ̀ mi. Èmi yọ nínú rẹ̀. Èmi ò yan nínú Olúwa. Torí ọjà yìí ló kù mí. Òun rẹ̀ dùn púpọ̀ láti lọ. Adé ní láti lójú rẹ̀. Èmi yọ nínú rẹ̀. Èmi yọ nínú rẹ̀. Ayọ̀kọ̀ lókì. Ayọ̀kọ̀ lọ́kọ̀ mi. Èmi yọ nínú rẹ̀. Ọmọnìyàn bá ọ̀yàwó mo kẹ́ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ olórí ilé ní mo máa pa ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ṣáyí lọ́la yan ṣe ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ ibi tí wọ́n gbà kọjá. Àwọn padà tẹ̀sán. Oúnjẹ tó má ra ẹjú. Ọjọ́ bá mi wọ̀n sọ́wọ́. Àwọn alámìdé ló ń sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹjọ́ máa bá alámìdé mi màmá rí. Báyìí lọ́la yan ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀. Ẹ wọ́n tó lè yẹ́yẹ́. Lórí ẹ̀mí gbẹ̀gbẹ̀. Lébà. Ẹyẹ ti dásìkò. Ẹ bá tọ́kú ọkọ mi. Àmà tó bá ń lọ lámìdé yé ni mo máa kó lórí rédíò. Ẹ wọ́n tó lè yẹ́yẹ́. Lórí ẹ̀mí gbẹ̀gbẹ̀. Ayélujára jẹ́ oníjẹ́ àmọ́ mi. Oníkan sára pẹ̀lú ọba tí ò tó Mama lábìdé mi mama rẹ̀ wọ́n sọ wọ́n alẹ́ni bala yìí. Èmi ni bíkí bàbá ò táyé wí ẹni tí ò mọ kó yà tètè mọ́. máa fẹ́ jù láyé láti ṣe yẹ̀yẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ mi. Mo máa fẹ́ jù láyé láti ṣe yẹ̀yẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ mi. Mo máa fẹ́ jù láyé. I'm allowing to be mommy. What do you have to do, Dada? Bàtàdá mi lọ́la rè é. Olùpàdé bọ̀ mo kí wọ́n ti bẹ̀ dáadáa. Wọ́n sọ wẹ́ẹ̀. A ní ó máa pẹ́ sí láàyè láti ṣe yẹ̀yẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀. Ó máa pẹ́ sí láàyè. Ó máa pẹ́ sí láàyè láti ṣe yẹ̀yẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀. Àmì nínú ìrìn àjò mi ẹni ọkọ ni mo tọ́ka sí lábárí ìdí ẹgbẹ́ náà ìdáwó lòdì nínú ẹgbẹ́ gbèdì ṣàtọ́ ìfún ẹbíyọ ẹgbẹ́ ṣàtọ́ ọmọ ni àwọn push money nínú ẹgbẹ́ mi ìgbé òṣèlú mo bọ́ ìdájọ́ òde ilé mi ọmọ ní push money jẹun lọ́gbọ́. Ẹgbẹ́ Bùsùkà ṣe é bàbá ròde, ó sanwó ẹ̀. Ọmọ ní Bùsùkà, ìgbà yìí lọ́la yẹn ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀. Ọmọ ní Bùsùkà tó sanwó. Alẹ́ ní bàlá ìgbà yìí, ó sanwó ẹ̀. Ìgbà yìí lọ́la yẹn ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀. Bùsùkà, Bùsùkà, ó sanwó ẹ̀. Àmì ògùnjú mi, ẹgbẹ́ tí wọ́n yé ní mo máa gbé, ni wọ́n lò ní pé ayọ̀ Olúwa yóò pẹ́ títí, ayọ̀ títí ayé. Ọmọ ní Stickman, ó kẹ́ ẹ̀sìn bẹ̀rẹ̀ olómi lómi, Stickman, ayọ̀ Olúwa yóò pẹ́ títí, ayọ̀ títí ayé. Sáàmì ní ṣìjọ, ìbò ìjọ rẹ̀ lọ. Ọ̀rọ̀ àyíndé wá sí o, ìtọ́gbé sí ayé mi, ọmọ Síkírù méjì, ìmọ̀dé ní kábàárì sí ìta, ó gbé fújì fún mi, ni mo ṣe ń jọmọ ṣe ń yọ, aládé àlàáfíà, òsìlẹ̀ àdé lọ́nà. Bàbá mi lọ́wọ́ mi láṣọ, wọ́n ní Káyìndé pa lọ́bù, Ọ̀túnba fi gbọ́fẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀, àtolórí ọmọọba ní ìlú. Ẹ̀rílé ayé mi, ẹ̀wọ̀n tí bàbá ṣe o, lájẹ́ orí ọ̀gbìn, ìfẹ́ inú mi dùn. Olúwayé ìjì, Ọlọ́run bá ló bá mi. Ẹ̀làlú tó pẹ́sẹ̀, ó ní ẹ̀làlú tó pẹ́sẹ̀. Ẹ̀làlú tó pẹ́sẹ̀. Àdúgbò lọ́sẹ̀ àdúgbò lọ́sẹ̀ 2025 console. Olókùnpá, ọlọ́sàpá, ọdún táwí. 2025 console. Gbogbo ọmọ ṣiṣẹ́ àpamọ́wọ́ wà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá wọn kékeré ń ṣe ńlá ni yóò padà. Gbogbo ọmọ ṣiṣẹ́. Nínú ọdún yìí, ratio 1:3. Alápamọ́wọ́ owó wà o. Ó pẹ́ ní tó ń wojú Olúwa. Ó máa rà àgbà. Adẹ́pàwọ́ àtọ́jú alẹ́. Ó wọ́n náà lọ́wọ́. 2025 console. Ẹ̀làdújọ́ pẹ́sẹ̀. Ẹ̀làdújọ́ pẹ́sẹ̀. Ẹ̀làdújọ́ pẹ́sẹ̀. Àdújọ́ pẹ́sẹ̀.
Say goodbye to ads interrupting your listening. Upgrade to Audio Mac Plus for an ad-free experience today. With Audio Mac Plus, you also get unlimited downloads, higher quality audio, and an expanded library of available songs to stream, in addition to game-changing features like Audio Mod. Best of all, your Audio Mac Plus subscription helps support your favorite artists, paying out at over 20 times the rate of a free user. Get Audio Mac Plus and upgrade your listening experience today.
Hail my Jesus, hail my Jesus, Jesus, something for a miracle, but I found no one. Nobody like you, nobody like Jesus. There's so many places, something for a better life, but I found no one.
Nobody here.
Nobody like you.
Let's find a place.
Like you. Jesus. Somebody
The Divine Chancellor Procession is already on its way to the hall. Let's settle down. Oh. Please, may I request that as soon as the Vice Chancellor procession enters into this hall, let us all rise and remain standing. Please, shall we all rise? Thank you very much, our great boys brigade. Shall we take the national anthem and AAUA anthem? Thank you very much. Please, let's have our seats. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor of this great university, Professor Olubunmi, I warmly welcome you all to the third inaugural lecture of Adea University. If this is your first time of coming to this university, we welcome you to a leadership development university where we build competent and confident graduates. Once again, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, we welcome you if you are just coming to our university. Today's inaugural lecture is titled A Science Classroom Where Everyone is a Genius, Management Through Phenomenological Methodology. The lecture is going to be delivered by Professor of Science Education and Curriculum Studies. I'm talking about no other person than Professor Adesoji Olubunmi Omoniyi. Please, let's put our hand together for her. I also want to inform you all that Professor Omoniyi is the 7th professor from the Faculty of Education to deliver inaugural lecture in this hall. Without taking much of your time, distinguished principal officers, deans, directors, professors, HODs and HOUs, staff of this great university, our dear students, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome to our 43rd inaugural lecture of Adea University. At this juncture, let me invite to the microphone the chairman of this occasion, our Vice Chancellor, Professor Olubunmi, to present the 43rd inaugural lecturer. Mr. VC, sir.
Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today is a public holiday as declared by the federal government of Nigeria. Because of the passing of our immediate past president of the country, former President Muhammadu Buhari. All activities in the university have been suspended, whether teaching, whether research, whether meetings, to observe the public holiday. By the time the announcement was made yesterday evening, 6:15 p.m., when I had the information, I called the inaugural lecturer, Professor Omoniyi, and I said, Professor Omoniyi, tomorrow had been declared a public holiday. What happens? And she said, sir, I have made all arrangements. The caterers have been around, they have killed all the cows. All the perishable goods, tomatoes, pepper, and so on have been purchased, and they have been processed. When I listened to the anxiety in her voice, I know that there's no way I could postpone this inaugural lecture. Because the way she was speaking, the way she was talking, she didn't know whether I would say, well, we have to postpone. And I know if I say we have to postpone, I don't want any other person to follow Buhari immediately. So I told her, I said, Professor Omoniyi, all activities in the university will be suspended because of the public holidays. No lecture, no meetings, no research, no students, and so on and so forth. I said because of the peculiarity of this one, and the fact that I have made all arrangements. It is not easy to make arrangements nowadays. I just did one. Just to say, go and again, be too much a burden. And that is why the university decided to go on with this singular activity today on campus. Immediately after this activity too, the university will also be closed until tomorrow morning. In that regard, ladies and gentlemen, can we get up and observe a minute silence in honor of our late leader and president, late President Muhammadu Buhari. I said a minute silence. May his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Members of the university management, deans of faculties, directors, heads of departments, distinguished professors, KBCs, they are present, and I'm using my own KBC, the Kalatuwe of Apoi Kingdom, as a point of contact to all other KBCs here. Our former first lady, Mrs. Olubunmi Mimiko. Thank you for coming, ma'am. Our distinguished former chief of staff to our former governor, Chief Olubunmi. High chiefs, regents, they are seated. My very, very bosom friend, reliable friend, the chairman of All Progressive Congress in Ondo State, engineer Adetimen. You are welcome, sir. Families of the inaugural lecturer, Dr. Omoniyi, former Commissioner for Health, Ondo State, the children of the inaugural lecturer and the immediate family. I'm seeing in the midst of our guests, former Commissioner, Attorney General, and Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Ajana, SAN. Yes. Thank you. Members of staff of Adekunle Ajasin University, our greatest Nigeria students, of the greatest Nigeria students, the inaugural lecturer, Professor Omoniyi. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with immense pleasure, profound pride, and a deep sense of honor that I heartily welcome everyone here seated to the 43rd inaugural lecture of our great university, Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko. We are most delighted to have in our midst today a gathering of distinguished academics, colleagues, students, members of the university community, invited guests, friends of the university, and respected members of the public. The inaugural lecture tradition is a revered academic culture that marks an important momentous in the career of a scholar. It is a ceremonial, yet intellectual platform where a professor formally showcases his or her scholarly journey, research accomplishments, and academic contributions to his or her discipline. The university is also happy to inform you that today's lecture is a celebration of knowledge, innovation, and enduring impact, values that our university continues to uphold with pride. Today's inaugural lecture is particularly significant as we are privileged to listen to the thoughts, findings, and reflections of a scholar in the field of science education and curriculum studies. Professor Adesoji Olubunmi Omoniyi. Her lecture, aptly titled, A Science Classroom Where Everyone is a Genius, Management Through Phenomenological Methodology, promises to offer deep and refreshing insights into contemporary science education and the evolving philosophies of curriculum delivery. As a university that places high value on innovative teaching and inclusive pedagogy, this lecture aligns seamlessly with our strategic vision for transformative education. Professor Omoniyi's scholarly contributions have continually exemplified excellence, relevance, and a passion for learner-centered education. Research work has also interrogated how science can be taught in a way that affirms the potential of every learner, regardless of background or ability. Our scholarship is not only advancing the discourse in science education, but it's also influencing the future of curriculum development and classroom engagement. Professor Omoniyi's academic journey is a compelling story of dedication, resilience, and excellence. She began her academic sojourn by obtaining a BSc education degree in chemistry, followed by a master's degree in science education from the then Ondo State University, Ado-Ekiti, now Ekiti State University, in 1987 and 1997, respectively. Her thirst for knowledge and commitment to academic growth culminated in a PhD in science education and curriculum studies from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, in 2005. A round of applause for that, please. It is not easy to have a PhD. She has a PhD in science education and curriculum studies. Another round of applause, please. She joined the services of Adekunle Ajasin University in 2013 as a lecturer 1 the Department of Science Education, and steadily rose through the ranks, earning the distinguished title of Professor in 2022. Her rise is not just an evidence of academic brilliance, but to a deep-seated commitment to excellence in teaching, in research, and in service. Over the years, Professor Mrs. Omoniyi has rendered meritorious service to the university in several key capacities. She has served as acting head of departments of science education, acting director of the Center for Gender Studies and Development, and coordinator of the Students' Work Study Program. Because of her academic career, Professor Omoniyi has participated in numerous conferences, both locally and internationally, presenting scholarly papers in over 10 states in the United States of America, and in the United Kingdom, in Kenya, and Mauritius. This international exposure has no doubt enriched her research output and expanded her professional network. An accomplished scholar, and published over 50 articles in reputable and valuable journals. Her mentorship portfolio is equally impressive, having supervised and mentored more than 180 undergraduate and postgraduate students, including 21 master and 5 PhD candidates. Her professional affiliations span both national and international bodies, showcasing her deep engagement with the global academic community. She's a member of the Science Teachers Association of Nigeria, Gender and Science and Technological Association, Third World Organization of Women in Science, American Chemical Society, Gender Studies Association of Nigeria, Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, Science Teachers Association of Texas in the United States of America, and the National Science Teachers Association, United States of America. As we prepare to listen to this much anticipated lecture, I invite us all to open our minds to the rich perceptions and forward-thinking ideas that Professor Omoniyi will present. Conclusion, I express heartfelt congratulations to Professor Adesoji Olubunmi Omoniyi. Thank you for your commitment to academic excellence. Thank you for your contributions to science education. And thank you for your service to Adekunle Ajashin University. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all an intellectually stimulating and fulfilling lecture experience. Thank you, and God bless you all.
The Vice Chancellor, and members of the University Council, Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics, the Registrar, the Bursar, the University Librarian, Dean of Graduate School, Directors and Heads of Departments and Units, Deans of Faculties and Student Affairs, and professors and other distinguished members of the Senate, members of the congregation, my lords, spiritual and temporal, distinguished staff of Adekunle Ajashin University, ever-conscious students of the great university, royal dignitaries in attendance, family members, associated friends, distinguished invited guests, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The turning of an academic reaches its pinnacle with the delivery of an inaugural lecture and celebration. This is a unique opportunity to showcase one academic achievement, contributions to knowledge, and enduring legacy. A life lived in pursuit of truth and excellence. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, this moment is especially significant for me as my inaugural lecture marked the second in the Department of Science Education, the first in Chemistry Education, Department of Science Education, in the Faculty of Education, and the inaugural lecture. Our department was delivered by the late Professor Bennett very hall. So follow in the footsteps of such distinguished predecessors is both humbling and inspiring. Allow me to express my heartfelt gratitude to you, sir, Mr. Vice Chancellor, for granting me the privilege of delivering the 43rd inaugural lecture of this esteemed university, our 21st century university properly called. My academic odyssey began humbly in 1969 at Zumuratu Islamia Primary School, Bakoko, a small school from my father's house at Beverly Street. One might wonder why a child to a Christian home who attended a Muslim school. The answer lies in the strict rules of the time. Children had to be 6 years old to enroll in primary school, and their right hand had to reach their left ear when stretched across their head. But 5 years of GOA was not one to let convention stand in our way. Driven by curiosity and love for learning, I followed a teacher, Mr. Wheeler, to the nearby school and began my education unbidden. When my father, Prince Oluwatemi, a teacher himself, came home that Friday and found me reciting Quranic verses with remarkable fluency, he was both surprised and amused. By Monday morning, he ensured I was enrolled at St. Peter's Primary School, Obakoko, where Bible verses quickly replaced my newly learned Quranic passages. This early hunger for knowledge turning a relentless pursuit of excellence no matter the odds. Mr. Vice Chancellor, one incident from my primary school days happened remain etched in my memory. In primary 3, I fell ill with malaria on a Thursday morning and couldn't attend school. However, the thought of missing the weekly arithmetic test was unbearable. After freshening up, I dashed to school. That's why my fever. My teacher, Ms. Dupe Adeomina, Mrs. Dupe Adeu, noticed my condition and expected to let me in. But my determination prevailed. My teacher assured her that the test and the antidote will cure me. Indeed, I returned home that afternoon, rejuvenated and triumphant, much to my mother's relief and exasperation. After completing my primary school, I moved on to our high school, Owo, where I carved a reputation for leadership and excellence. Appointed senior prefect girl in my final year. Continue to embrace challenges, leading my peers with a sense of purpose. After graduation, I taught general science at Olubunmi Grammar School, Obakoko, a school my father helped establish. My teaching journey began there, laying the foundation for a lifelong commitment to education. My father often called me doctor. When as a child, planting a seed of ambition that will guide my academic path. Despite initial setback in pursuing medicine, I found my calling in chemistry education at Obafemi Awolowo University at Ado-Ekiti, later Ondo State University, and now Ekiti State University. Graduating in 1987, I served the nation NYSC as an instructor at the Nigeria Defense Academy in Kaduna, where I mentor cadets with passion and dedication. Returning to Ondo State, I embarked on a teaching career that spanned multiple schools roles, culminating in the position of a deputy director, inspectorate at the Ministry of Education. Balancing the demands of motherhood, work, and further studies, I earned my master's degree in 1997 and my PhD in science education and curriculum studies from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife in 2005. Among my peers, I am humbled to say I was the first to complete my doctorate, a testament of perseverance and determination. Mr. Vice Chancellor, today's lecture is not just a celebration of my academic journey, but a reflection of the resilience, hard work, and unwavering faith that have defined my life. It is the story of a young girl from Obakoko who dared to dream and turned those dreams into reality. It is my hope that this story inspires others to embrace the boundless possibility of education and strive for excellence no matter the challenges they face. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the title of this lecture, A Classroom Where Everyone is a Genius. It's not just a slogan, it is a conviction, one from my experiences as a chemistry teacher in secondary schools, state of identity. Allow me to share the story behind it, Mr. Vice Chancellor. A story that underscores the transformative power of teaching methods and the boundless potential of every learner. When I taught chemistry, my classroom were always filled to capacity in stark contrast to the attendance in my colleagues. Science classes, intrigued, I started to understand this phenomenon. Conversations with my students, their responses were both humbling and enlightening. They came to my class because it was allowed with practical demonstration that brought the subject to life. Every topic was supported by hands-on experiments, making even the most abstract concepts tangible and understandable. My classroom wasn't just a place of instruction, it was a place of discovery, where students could see, touch, and engage with the principle of chemistry. Mr. Vice Chancellor, this approach yielded remarkable results. In 1996, at St. John Mary's College, my students' stellar performance in the West African Examination Council earned me the honor of teaching the SS3 graduating class for 3 consecutive years. Even during maternity leave in April 1999, the school invited me back to teach thermodynamics, one of the most challenging topics in chemistry, because the administration trusted my ability to simplify the concept, the complex, through what I now call methodology. This methodology shaped my doctoral research at Obafemi Awolowo University, where the idea of was first conceived. My PhD focused on revitalizing the science classroom by making it activity-based, encouraging students to explore, expand, and invent. The findings were groundbreaking. I taught students challenging concepts such as mole concept, electrolysis, thermodynamics, and gas law, using the 3 phases of the learning circle approach. To my delight, every student excelled. Yes, their score varied, and the time they needed to grasp the concept differed, but no one student was left behind. It was then I realized there is no such a dullard in the science classroom. Every student is a genius waiting to be nurtured. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, this conviction is supported by years of research, including the works of Omoniyi 2015, Omoniyi 2016, Omoniyi 2017, Omoniyi 2020, Omoniyi 2021, Omoniyi 2022, which found that a well-managed, activity-driven science classroom unlocks the genius in every learner. Science education, at its core, is not merely the dissemination of knowledge, it is the act of making knowledge accessible, relatable, and transformational. The brilliance of a teacher lies not in the mastery of content alone, but in the ability to convey and effectively. pedagogy, even the richest content is rendered. This brings me to a critical question for all educators there today, particularly science teachers. How many geniuses have you produced in your classroom? Have you created an environment that inspires curiosity and confidence? Or have you perhaps unwittingly turned your classroom into a den of lions that intimidates and alienates students? Let me share an example that underscores this point. During my undergraduate studies at PHENOMENOLOGICAL University, thermodynamics, a notoriously difficult topic in chemistry, was taught by a professor who claimed 20 years of teaching experience. Yet, instead of defining the subject, he compounded our fears. His authoritarian approach, prohibiting questions and warning us against even showing our teeth in class. He instilled dread rather than understanding. It is no wonder that few of us managed to score B in the course. I often wonder how many geniuses he inspired in his teaching career. This is thought-provoking. This experience fueled my determination to approach teaching effectively differently. My master's research on thermodynamics and my doctoral work were driven by a desire to eliminate the phobia surrounding science subjects and to show students that learning science can be engaging, rewarding, and even fun. Today, Mr. Vice Chancellor, I challenge every teacher and lecturer to reflect deeply. Are you empowering your students to see themselves as geniuses? Are you using methods that engage their curiosity and build their confidence? Because, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I believe that within every classroom lies a reservoir of untapped potential. And it is our responsibility as educators to unlock it. Let us redefine teaching. Let us build classroom where fear is replaced with curiosity, where challenges become opportunities, and where every learner discovers the genius within. This is not just a call to action. It is a mission to transform education one classroom at a time. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, my journey from the civil service to the ivory tower. Mr. Vice Chancellor, my journey to the ivory tower is a story of resilience, faith, and the unyielding pursuit of purpose, leaving the comfortable and enviable position of a deputy director in the Ministry of Education to venture into the academic world was a bold and challenging decision. At that time, the financial reality of transitioning from a deputy director in the inspectorate to a lecturer 2 at the University of Abuja was daunting. The salary was barely more than my monthly impress as an area education officer. Yet, I was convinced that this path was my destiny. In 2007, I was appointed lecturer 2 in the Department of Science and Environmental Education at the University of Abuja. The beginning was far from easy. This transition demanded sacrifices both professionally and personally. But as I reflect on my journey, I see that the rough patches were stepping stones, shaping me into the scholar I am today. Vice Chancellor, sir, by 2013, my commitment to family and my passion led me to relocate to Adesoji of Science and Technical Education, now known as the Department of Science Education. Over the years, I rose through the ranks by the grace of God, the SC2 of Professor of Science Education Chemistry in 2020. The pinnacle of my academic career, what began as a rough start, has blossomed. It's a fulfilling journey, one that only divine grace could orchestrate. The journey was not without trials. I faced moments of frustration, particularly early on, when challenges tested my resolve, one such challenge came in the form of head of department at the University of Abuja, who demanded I recognize him as an academic husband. I refused to compromise my values, and in time, Nemesis caught up with him. He was dismissed for unethical practices. That chapter reminded me of the truth in Ecclesiastes 9:11. The race is not for the swift, nor the battle for the strong. It is by that grace that I am standing here today, being celebrated and fulfilled among this distinguished and diverse audience. Some of my secondary school mates will often say, "Sojoye, God wouldn't have forgiven you if you had not gone into academics and become a professor." They recognize the path I was meant to take, even when the journey seemed uncertain. Today, I give all the glory to God. Many who were more brilliant than I am fell by the wayside, but by God's grace, sustained me. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, it is a privilege to stand for this 43rd inaugural lecture of Adekunle University, known as the best state university in Nigeria, and the title, a science classroom where everyone is a genius, management through phenomenological methodology, embodies a vision that has driven my career, a vision to transform science education and inspire educators to see every learner as a potential genius. This lecture seeks to erase the long-held myth that science subjects are inherently difficult. It offers a fresh perspective, demonstrating that with the right approach, every student can excel in science. It challenges the natural assumption that not everyone can be a genius. Ideas say we are all geniuses. It is our role as educators to uncover and nurture that brilliance. The philosophical theory of natural law by Thomas Hobbes, 1640, supports the title of this lecture, which states that all people were born with the same right and moral compass regardless of their talent. It is a theory of ethics and philosophy that says that human beings possess intrinsic values that governs reasoning and behavior. And according to John Locke, 1690, and I quote, all people were born equal, and that government should exist only with the consent of the people. That is, all people were born with natural rights. This philosophical thought support the first phrase of this lecture, that everyone is a genius. Today's lecture is not just about sharing insights. It's about igniting a revolution in how we perceive and teach science. I am confident by the end of this lecture, science educators will be key to turn their classroom into spaces of innovation, curiosity, and genius. Together, let us embrace the possibility of a future where science classroom is a workshop of greatness, where no student is left behind, and where geniuses is not a reality, but a shared reality. With this mission in mind, I invite you to join with me as we transform the science classroom, one learner at a time. This is our call, and together we will fulfill it. Historical development of science education. The origin of science education in Nigeria, though not precisely documented, can be traced to 1859, a pivotal year marked by the establishment of a missionary secondary school in Lagos. According to Omoniyi, 1977, before this landmark year, educational institutions in Nigeria focused solely on primary school subjects such as languages, writing, geography, drawing, hygiene, singing, and history. Subjects like geometry and algebra were gradually integrated into the primary school curriculum, but the teaching of science remained conspicuously absent. However, the spread of science education resistance in the northern region, as reported by Omoniyi. Religious sensitivities and opposition from the Muslim community presented formidable barrier to the establishment of missionary schools in the region. The colonial government, wary of offending religious sentiment, particularly regarding the teaching of biology, was hesitant to introduce science into schools in the north. Consequently, while a few schools did exist in the north during the period their curricula largely excluded science. The historical narrative underscored the challenge, disparity and gradual evolution of science education in Nigeria. It serves as a reminder of the pivotal role that education, particularly science education, plays in shaping a nation's progress and unity. The story of science teaching in Nigeria is not just about the past. It is a call to action for us to bridge the gaps and ensure equitable access to quality education for all communities. We have two tables there, table 1 and 2, showing us the differential development of Western education in Nigeria between 1883 and 1930. The development of science education in Nigeria faced significant setbacks rooted in systemic challenges and deep-seated biases. The pace of progress was hindered by several critical factors, which left an indelible mark on the evolution of science education during that era. Some of the problems associated to science education during the 19th century are prejudice and discrimination to inadequate financing, insufficient time allocation, lack of qualified science teacher, absence of textbook, and inadequate laboratory facility. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, it is disheartening to note that nearly 2 centuries, many of these challenges persist in our education system. Despite commendable strides, issues such as inadequate funding, poorly equipped laboratory, and shortage of qualified teachers remain unresolved. Alarmingly, new challenges such as insecurity and banditry have marched further, compounding the obstacle for effective science education in Nigeria. Definition of appropriate terms. To ensure a deeper understanding of the essence of this lecture, it is essential to define key terms and address some critical whys and hows. These definitions will lay a solid foundation for grasping the transformative potential of science education and its pivotal role in shaping individual and society. What is science? According to UNESCO 2017 recommendation on science and scientific researcher, science represents a global enterprise where individuals and groups collaborate and compete to systematically study and explain and observe phenomena. But in the context of this lecture, science is defined as the observation, identification, description, experimental investigation, and theoretical explanation of natural phenomena. More simply, science is the pursuit and application of knowledge about the natural and social world. It is a systematic methodology rooted in evidence, a powerful tool for unlocking the mystery of our universe. What is education? UNESCO regards education as a fundamental human right for all, a lifelong pursuit that must prioritize not just access but quality. At the heart of UNESCO mission lies a commitment to building peace, eradicating poverty, and driving sustainable development through education. Education is the bridge to personal and societal transformation. It equips individuals with the skills, knowledge, and values needed to navigate life and contribute meaningfully to their communities. In the context of science education, it is the foundation upon which scientific literacy, innovation, and empowerment are built. What is curriculum? UNESCO defines curriculum as an inventory of activities related to designing, organizing, and planning education or training. It encompasses the definition of learning objectives, content, methods, and for training educators. In the context of this lecture, Omoniyi 2018, Omoniyi 2021, Omoniyi 2022, Omoniyi 2023 broadens the definition. See the curriculum as the sum total of all learning experiences acquired by the learner in the school. These experiences aim to make individuals self-reliant and valuable to both themselves and the society at large. A well-structured curriculum bridges the gap between theory and practice, fostering critical thinking, problem solving, and adaptability, qualities that are indispensable in today's world. What is science education? Chioma Uchenna 2021 describes science education as the study of the interrelationship between science as a discipline and the application of educational discipline to its understanding, teaching, and learning. Science education involves delving deeply into scientific concepts while also exploring educational discipline that focus on how these concepts are learned, understood, and applied. Science education is more than just imparting scientific knowledge. It is about curating an environment where learners can question, explore, and innovate. It is an applied field that derives its authenticity from the indispensable role of science in human survival and progress. Science education, therefore, is not a privilege, but a fundamental right, one that every individual must have access to. The power of science education. Science education is transformative. It's not just curiosity, fosters innovation, and equips learners with the tools to solve real-world problems. It bridges the gap between knowledge and application, ensuring that learners are not just consumers of information, but creators of solutions. As we delve into this lecture, I am confident that this definition will inspire us to reimagine our roles as educators, policy makers. Together, let us ensure that science education fulfills the promise of making every learner a genius and driving sustainable development. Mr. Vice Chancellor, that figure there, a hierarchical model of science education, the source is Omoniyi 2022. It's a great contribution because this model was constructed by me to tell us the usefulness and the purpose of science education, where you have science education, science and education, the education part, you have the philosophy of education, psychology of education, sociology of education, curriculum and teaching science, everything going to method, back to science. All the teaching in science and in education brought into method of teaching science, which is the how of science. From the above figure, science education can be described as a science teacher who knows the content of science, that is the subject matter, and how to deliver the content to produce geniuses. That is, knowing the content and the art of delivering the content. Imagine a classroom where every student feels capable, inspired, and excited to learn. A place where science isn't intimidating, but instead a fascinating journey of discovery. This is the vision behind the title of this lecture, a science classroom where everyone is a genius. It is achievable with the right approach and mindset. The key to this vision lies in the phenomenological methodology. Simply put, it's about teaching in a way that connects deeply with students' unique experiences, interests, and ability. It's not just about memorizing facts or formulae. It's about creating a learning environment where students actively explore, experiment, and apply what they learn to real-world problems. This makes even the toughest science topic feel approachable and meaningful. In such a classroom, Mr. Vice Chancellor, the teacher isn't just delivering lecture, they are guiding, encouraging, and helping students discover their hidden potential. The method acknowledges that every child learns differently and at their own pace, but all have the capacity for greatness when nurtured. The idea of turning every student into a genius is about delivering in their innate brilliance and creating the condition to unlock it. With thoughtful management and innovative technology, we can build classroom where fear of failure is replaced with a love for learning, where every child feels seen, valued, and capable of extraordinary achievement. This is the future of education, and it starts with us. Science education, the art of unlocking geniuses. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, science education is the cornerstone of innovation, a field dedicated to effectively delivering scientific content to learners. It is not just about knowing the subject, it is about how the knowledge is shared. A truly impactful science teacher combines expertise in their discipline with the ability to connect with students through methods like phenomenological methodology, Omoniyi 2020, Omoniyi 2021A, and Omoniyi 2022B. This approach brings science alive, making the classroom a dynamic space for exploration and discovery. The burning questions in science education. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the challenges facing science education today are deeply rooted in unanswered whys and hows. Answer whys and hows questions that demand urgent intervention. This lecture seeks to address these pressing issues to ensure that science education in Nigeria and in the world at large does not become a relic of history. Among these questions of whys and hows are: why is method the most important element of the curriculum? The method shapes how content is delivered, directly impacting learning outcome. Without the right pedagogy, even the most robust objective and content fail to engage and inspire. Why are science subjects perceived as difficult? Because misconceptions, poor teaching strategy, and a lack of resources contributes to the fear surrounding science. Why do science classrooms become sleeping apples for students? It's because there's a disengaged classroom environment which leads to boredom, leading students uninspired and disconnected. Why do students shy away from the mathematical aspects of chemistry? Because complex concepts presented without relatable application foster intimidation rather than understanding. How? The how include how can science teachers make the science classroom interesting and attractive? Done by incorporating hands-on experiment, discussion, relatable examples. Teachers can transform science into a captivating adventure. How can passive never do well students become geniuses? With the right approach, such as the learning circle model, every student can unlock their potential. How can a teacher miraculously turn an F9 grade into A through targeted activity that builds confidence and clarity? How can science classroom become the cynosure of attraction for students by creating a conducive, resourceful, and engaging environment? The power of method curriculum. So, sir, among the 4 elements of the curriculum, objective, content, method, and evaluation, methods stand as the most critical. Omoniyi 2022 emphasized that a teacher aims with great objectives and content, but lacking effective pedagogy cannot achieve success. Science classroom must be resourceful, interactive, and inspiring to drive meaningful learning outcome. In a groundbreaking study, Omoniyi 2003, Omoniyi 2007, Omoniyi 2018, the continuity, teaching strategy, and the learning circle content, drawing on Vigo Kinetics Piaget principle of mental function in 1930. Then the second model comprises the three phases. The three phases are the exploration phase, the constant developmental phase, conceptual expansion phase. Some of the studies carried out during the course of my research in producing more genius inside classroom was used revealed a remarkable improvement in student performance and increase in number of genius improvements. Two, the use of problem solving approach and deep mapping teachings of identify difficult topics such as redox reaction, chemical kinetics, chemical equilibrium, also produce many geniuses. Omoniyi 2016, Omoniyi 2018, Omoniyi 2028, Omoniyi and Noah 2022. Three, furthermore, in the course of my research, computer-assisted instruction and formal teaching strategy were used to teach both the theoretical and practical aspects of chemistry. And the findings show an appreciable performance and increase in the number of geniuses produced in science classroom. Omoniyi 2008, Omoniyi 2012, Omoniyi 2018B, and Omoniyi 2032B. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the second phase in the title of this lecture, Management Through Phenomenological Methodology, emphasizes the vital role of classroom management. Effective management creates an environment where both teaching and learning strive. According to Omoniyi 2011, classroom management involves a range of skills and techniques that keep students organized, attentive, and academically productive. This can only be achieved when teaching methods are prioritized. Omoniyi 2017 documented how science classroom can be transformed to attractive and conducive spaces for learning. Classroom management directly impacts students' success, ensuring that every learner feels supported, engaged, and inspired. It is the foundation for turning challenges into opportunities and every science classroom to a workshop of brilliance. Inspiring the future. Sir, as we delve into this lecture, it is my hope that this lecture will inspire educators to reimagine their classroom as spaces of transformation by addressing these whys and hows. We can ensure that science education become a beacon of hope and progress, equipping students not just with knowledge, but with the tools to shape the future. Together, we can create classroom where every student discover the genius within. You see some figures there of the inaugural lecturer of some overcrowded classroom in Nigeria, which is not ideal for effective classroom management. And we can see other figures there where you have where effective science teaching is taking place. Effective classroom management, a key to transformational science education. Effective classroom management forms the backbone of effective teaching, especially in science education. It ensures that learners can not only execute their lesson effectively, but also find joy and fulfilling in their profession. However, preparation is very, very crucial. A science teacher should never wait until students are present to test experiment or practical demonstration. Imagine the embarrassment when chemicals or reagents fail to react as intended due to expiration or inactivity. For instance, if reactant A and B are meant to produce a vibrant yellow product C, but nothing happens, the teacher risks ridicule and student faith in science is diminished. This scenario underscores the importance of thorough Oral preparation, studies by Omoniyi 2014 and Olubunmi and Omoniyi 2011 address such challenges, advocating for resolving conflict in the science classroom through phenomenological methodology. The UNESCO Declaration of the Responsible Use of Science Knowledge. UNESCO calls on nations and scientists to use science knowledge responsibly to meet human needs and aspirations while avoiding misuse. Science education plays a critical role in this mission in keeping learners with the skills and understanding to apply scientific knowledge in practical and meaningful ways. For example, the processes of saponification, esterification, and polymerization yield essential human products like soap, perfume, polyvinyl chloride, a complex molecule of ethane, and fertilizer. However, there is a need for caution. Organochlorine compounds such as diphenyl trichloroethane, DDT, and chlorinated biphenyl, PCB, widely used as herbicides in Nigeria today, despite their ban in the US since 1996, pose significant health risk. These hazardous substances underscore the importance of raising awareness amongst chemistry teachers and students about their effect on human health, as recommended by Omoniyi 2016b and Omoniyi 2021. Science education must not only impart knowledge, but also encourage responsible application for sustainable development. The aim and role of science education in Nigeria. According to the National Policy on Education 2014, the role of science education in Nigeria to cultivate rational thinking, produce scientists, advance technological studies and development. Science education also deepens science students' understanding of how the world works, from human anatomy to transportation technology, making it an indispensable tool for national progress. The current state of science education in Nigeria. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, despite its potential, science education in Nigeria faces persistent challenges. The greatest among them is the lack of a curriculum that addresses local needs while fostering global competitiveness. Omoniyi 2018, Omoniyi 2021 emphasized the importance of integrating green chemistry and environmental education into the secondary school curriculum. Concepts like the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, and recycle, should be introduced to promote sustainable development and protect the environment. The neglect of indigenous knowledge and practices also hinders progress. For instance, local crafts like pottery, shown through scientific research to enhance water quality, are overlooked. Incorporating such practices into science education could bridge the gap between traditional knowledge and modern science, fostering innovation. Historical and persistent impediment to science education. Science education in Nigeria has come a long way since its inception from the late 19th century, but many historical challenges persist, now compounded by new issues reflective of the 21st century. These challenges include inadequate funding, as I mentioned, shortage of qualified teachers, and some other factors. Sadly, many of these issues remain unresolved in the 21st century. The question arises, what has been the place of science education in Nigeria over the past 2 centuries? This stark reality calls for immediate and sustained reform. These challenges underscore the urgent need for comprehensive reform in science education, including increased funding, curriculum modernization, teacher training, and integration of technology. Addressing this issue will not only elevate science education in Nigeria, but also equip the next generation to meet the demands of a rapidly evolving world. repositioning science education for sustainable development. Science education in Nigeria must be repositioned to break free from stereotypes and aligned with indigenous needs, local needs. African society must move away from over-reliance on imported technologies and ideas, forcing a mindset of self-reliance and innovation. Restructuring the science curriculum at all levels is essential to achieve this. Omoniyi 2018 and 2021 suggested integrating green chemistry and environmental education into the curriculum. Teaching waste management is very essential. Furthermore, teaching science in indigenous language, as advocated by Professor Adesoji, will enhance comprehension and foster similar successful model which has been obtained in Japan, China, and Germany. The way forward. The integration of indigenous knowledge, practices, and language into science education will not only make science more relatable, but also empower learners, solve local problems with innovative solutions. The inclusion of environmentally conscious topics and indigenous languages in the curriculum will pave the way for science education system that is both relevant and transformative. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, this lecture is a call to action. Let us embrace the opportunity to reimagine science education in Nigeria as a tool for national transformation, one that equips learners to tackle contemporary challenges while unlocking their potential to become agents of change. Together, we can shape a future where science education drives progress and prosperity for all. There are some pictures there of the inaugural lecturer visit to many states in the United States, Harvard University in Massachusetts, Oxford University in UK, for cross-fertilization ideas and to bring innovation to our country in order to produce more geniuses. Conclusion. The path to genius in the science classroom. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude this inaugural lecture, let us reflect on the transformative power of science education and its capacity to unlock the hidden potential in every learner. Over the past 1 hour, we have explored how the application of phenomenological methodology and the how of teaching can make the science classroom a space where every student is empowered to excel. My research and studies have consistently shown that effective classroom management rooted in the right pedagogical method transforms science education from rote memorization into an engaging and interactive experience. Teaching is not merely about transferring knowledge. It is about delivering it in ways that resonate, inspire, and equip learners to apply it in meaningful ways. Among the curriculum elements, objective content methods and evaluation methods remain the cornerstone, bridging content to comprehension and ensuring every student has the opportunity to rise to their potential. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, yet achieving this mission requires collective effort. We must confront long-standing challenges such as insufficient funding, lack of qualified teachers, outdated curricula, and inadequate laboratory facilities. At the same time, we must embrace innovative solutions, integrating green chemistry, adopting indigenous languages in teaching, and drawing on local knowledge and practices. These steps are not merely aspirational. They are critical to creating a science education system that is both relevant and sustainable. Let us commit as educators, policymakers, parents, and stakeholders to nurturing the seed of genius within every classroom. Every child deserves opportunity to explore their potential, contribute to society, and drive progress. Together, we can transform science education into a beacon of hope, innovation, and sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, I leave you with this enduring truth. Everyone is a genius. It is our shared responsibility to uncover it, to nurture it, and celebrate it. Let us rise to this challenge and create extraordinary possibilities. Recommendations for transformative science education in producing geniuses in the classroom. To ensure that science classrooms become workshops of genius, I present the following recommendations. 1, use of innovative pedagogical skills. Teachers at all levels should engage to use innovative and constructivism-based teaching strategy, such as learning circle approach strategy, problem-solving approach, form-mode application technique to unlock student potential in chemistry, process-oriented, scaffolding and V-mapping teaching techniques in order to produce more geniuses in the class. Professionalization of science teaching. Many of our science teachers and lecturers lack professional qualification in teaching. While they may have the mastery of their content, of the subject matter, they often lack the pedagogical skills required to make science engaging and accessible. Teacher training program must emphasize the how of teaching science. Parental support for early science teaching. Parents and guardians play a crucial role in fostering a love for science from the early age, providing toys, puzzles, and other material that spark curiosity can lay a solid foundation for future interest in science. Increased funding in science laboratory, support for indigenous authors, as we have seen in the other figure, where chemistry textbook has been written in Yoruba by a very young man there in the picture. A call to action, nurturing the genius within. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, science classrooms are filled with potential geniuses waiting to be nurtured. It is our duty as educators, parents, and policymakers to create an environment that inspires curiosity, ignite passion, and transform potential into brilliance. Geniuses are not rare anomalies. They are all around us, in our classroom, in our homes, in our communities. Let us not stifle their growth or dim their light. Every student has the capacity to excel. It is our collective responsibility to cultivate that potential. According to John Locke 1619, in his philosophical thought, believed that all people were born equal and that government should exist only with the consent of the people. That is, all people were born with natural rights and potentials. As Albert Einstein famously said, everyone is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Let us build science classroom where every student is empowered to discover their unique genius. Together, we can make this vision a reality. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, permit me to say that I've contributed my own quota at different levels in the university in terms of administrative responsibility as HOD, as Director of Women's Studies, as Director of Work Studies, and some other administrative positions. And during my time as HOD I was HOD for 4 sessions, and during this period, accreditation was carried out in my department, and 6 programs were accredited. Acknowledgements. God, it is by your grace that I stand here today. Your love, care, and potential have carried me through the vicissitudes of life. I am eternally grateful, Lord. If on my head are tongue, you are not enough to praise you, Lord. Luke 27. Thank you, Almighty God, creator of heaven and earth, for guiding me through the challenging terrain of academia. In moments of doubt, like when my HOD, my head of department at University of Abuja, denied promotion for refusing to recognize him as academic husband, your grace kept me steady. Today I sing with joy. What shall I say unto the Lord? All I have to say is thank you, Lord. To our Vice Chancellor, Professor Olubunmi, I thank you, sir, for fostering an environment that makes this inaugural lecture possible. You are not a boss, but a father. To the university management team, Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor C.A. Daramola, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics, Professor Akiwumi, the Registrar, Mr. Rajulu, the University Bossa, Mr. Rina, the University Librarian, Dr. Yemisi Olorunfemi, and all Senate members. Your support has been invaluable. Special appreciation go to our amiable and honorable wife of our Vice Chancellor, the First Lady in quotes of our 21st Century University, properly called Chief Mrs. Helen Folakege. Thank you, ma, for supporting our daddy. Special thanks to Professor Mary Bake Yabo, my sister, my friend, whose encouragement and guidance have been instrumental in my journey in Adekunle Ajashi University of Akoko. My sincere appreciation go to my PhD supervisor, Professor Shola Idero, for being my academic guide at Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife. Thank you for believing in my potential and encouraging me to join the academia. I appreciate Professor Eri Afolabi of Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife. Your mentorship in research and education shaped my academic path. To all my professors and colleagues who supported me along the way, I am deeply grateful. I also acknowledge the deans of faculties, directors, and other members of Senate. I cannot forget my former colleague in the Ministry of Education. Despite their wishes for me to stay and become a permanent secretary, I followed the calling to academia, and today I stand as a professor. My special appreciation go to all my senior colleagues, my peers, Debo Adepoju, Chifeso Obagaye, and all those that have supported my growth in the civil service. I acknowledge the intellectual and creative power of all the eggheads that have occupied the position of Vice Chancellor, both at the University of Abuja, FCT, where I started my career in academics, and our great institution, the 21st Century University, where I was made a professor in 2022. My deep appreciation goes to Professor Igbekele Ajibefu, who appointed me acting director of Women's Studies and Development Center in 2016, and also acting director of Work Study in 2017. I sincerely appreciate Dr. Mrs. Olubunmi, the former boss of Adekunle University of Akoko, for her support when I was the acting director of Women's Studies in 2016. I appreciate all my deans, past and present, in the Faculty of Education, the mother of all faculties, for their support in making my dream fulfilled. My deep appreciation goes to my former dean, His Royal Majesty, Oba Sunday Adejibola Amusewo. He has seated the Kalasue of Akwa Land, who encouraged me to relocate from the University of Abuja to Adekunle University in order to reduce stress and be closer to my family. I thank you, Kabiyesi. The efforts of the eminent past dean of the Faculty of Education, Professor M.A. Hassan, is commendable. His advice, counsel and encouragement serve as a succor for me during my first session as head of the Department of Science Education. The current dean of the Faculty of Education, Professor George Ayenibara, I salute you, sir. You are a great leader, a Kokoma to the core. I appreciate all my professor friends, sisters, and brothers all over the globe. Professor Francis Bore, I salute you. I thank you for being there for me at all times. I wish to acknowledge and appreciate all the professors in the Faculty of Education who had at one time assisted me to achieve this great feat in the academia. I am very grateful. I am grateful to members of my department, the Department of Science Education, the page setter. I appreciate you all. Starting from the head of the department, Dr. Abiola Akigbemisilu, Professor Esu Adodo, Professor Laleye, Dr. Aboderin, Dr. Tunde Tinuke Ajao, Dr. Kumuyi, Dr. Adewale, Dr. Olajide, and all secretarial staff using Adesoji as the point of contact. Dele Bore, I salute you. Abikewewe, I appreciate you. I acknowledge the contribution and spiritual guidance of our special family friend and father, Professor B.O. Akiyele of the Federal University of Technology, who initiated and encouraged me to leave the civil service. He said on that day in year 2006, he said, "Mommy, you cannot have PhD and still remain in the ministry. I know that it is very juicy, but with all the potential that God has deposited in you, I appreciate you, sir, for being there for my family through thick and thin." His words of encouragement cheer me up. I am sincerely grateful to my sisters and brothers in school, my academic sons and daughters, starting from Dr. Alowonle, Omoniyi, Faith Adeshemuyi, Yemi Fakolujo Delegbore, Dr. Sukomi Adeleke, Dr. Akioluwa Daisi for my country, Dr. Mrs. Olubunmi Aliyu for my countryman of Bakoko, Mr. Ihuwa, Stella Oladele from the Bossy Department. I salute you all. And others that have not been able to mention, other people that are worthy of note and recognition are my guests. My sojourn in the Ministry of Education, Mr. Vice Chancellor, where I rose to the position of Deputy Director in Inspire, was divine. It was divine in the sense that God made me to meet some ordained helpers and lifter of my destiny. During my sojourn in the Ministry of Education, I met some divinely chosen friends. Among them are Excellency Mrs. Olukemi Mimiko, the former wife of the former governor of Ondo State, and Dr. Ariola Akishete. Her Excellency Mrs. Olukemi Mimiko, the wife of the former governor of Ondo State, who was in scholarship board at of the Ministry of Education, assisted me in getting scholarship of 50,000 naira for my PhD program in 1999. During the tenure of His Excellency Adebayo Adefarati of blessed memory, God has used Mrs. Olukemi Mimiko for me at different levels of endeavor, including politics. I also acknowledge with admiration the love and concern always displayed by my people in Idagbasoke Akoko, in which I am their matron. The effort and concern of the chairman of Idagbasoke, Mr. Bada Kamara, is worthy of note. He's always asking me to know when my inaugural lecture will come up. Now it has come up. So my spiritual mentors and father in the Lord, Dr. D.K. Olukoya, the General Overseer of Mountain of Fire and Miracle Ministry Worldwide, the Mega Regional Overseer of Mountain of Fire, First Act Region, Pastor E.I. Irabo, the Mega Regional Overseer of Mountain of Fire, Southwest 4 Akure, Pastor Ademola Adeniyi, and Regional Overseer of Region 125, Southwest 4, Pastor Tokpe Baba Tokpe. Thanks for being there for me through thick and thin. I recognize the role of other pastors in Mountain of Fire and Miracle Ministry. The concern and spiritual support given to me and my family is worthy of appreciation. I appreciate my friend, my sister, Professor Mrs. Bamidele Akiyele of the Federal University of Technology, Professor Olayinka Oni of Federal University of Technology. I salute you. I appreciate you. I thank our mommy in Mountain of Fire, Miracle Ministry Southwest 4, Mrs. Felicia Akere, the popularly known as Mommy Filtami. Thank you, ma, for your motherly role and unalloyed support for me and my family. My special sister and friend, BP Adeoji, I appreciate you greatly. I appreciate my past and present undergraduate and postgraduate students, both at the University of Abuja and Adekunle Ajashi University, for their appreciation. I sincerely appreciate the present PhD and MS students who are currently doing their research under my watch. I cannot but appreciate the unrelenting effort and perseverance of Mrs. Folake, who did the typesetting of this work. There are many others and individuals not mentioned here who have rendered help at one time or the other for the success of my career journey. To them, I express my heartfelt appreciation. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, this lecture will not be complete without acknowledging the prayers of my God's children at Ondo State Children's Home, Akure. As part of my social services and contribution to the society, I celebrate my birthday every year with the less privileged at the Ondo State Children's Home, Akure, where food donations were given to them annually, and also cater for indigent students. Also, as part of my service to my country home, Obakoko, I give scholarship by paying NECO registration fee of best students in chemistry in the joint SS2 examination in both Oludaye and Onyile High School, both in Obakoko. I appreciate all members of the inaugural committee for their contribution to the success of this program, using the head of Department of Science Education, Dr. Abiola Akinwemisilu, and Dr. Olusegun Owolewa as point of contact. My special appreciation also goes to my brother-in-law, and elder in the department, our mentor, Professor Kunle Oloruntegbe, for his mentoring. I owe special gratitude to Professor Oluyemisi Adebowale, our mother in the university, in 21st Century University, and Dr. Mrs. Stella Akpata for the editing job done, which has enhanced the quality of this lecture. Thank you, Mama. Accolades to the political leaders and associates. I greatly appreciate the esteemed presence of our father and political juggernaut in Akoko land, Alhaji Ali Olanusi, the former deputy governor of Ondo State, who has been a father not only in the political arena, but also an encourager to those of us coming behind him in Akoko land. I sincerely appreciate my leader in APC, Engineer Adetimehin, who is interested in my pursuit in becoming a professor. I acknowledge and appreciate the presence of my sisters in the political circle, Her Excellency, the Mrs. Kemi Inyoto, who is the current Ondo State representative at the National Population Commission in Ondo State. I appreciate my members from the 12th Governing Council of Rufus Giwa Polytechnic, Owo. Muyiwa Asagunla, I recognize you, and I appreciate all the vicars for my country home, Venerable Olufunsamobola as the point of contact. I acknowledge the presence of the Chief Imam of Shupare, Alhaji Abdurrashid Akerele. To my awesome family, friends, and associates, Pastor and Mrs. Aki Ogundayisi, who traveled all the way from London, UK, to honor me with their presence. I appreciate Pastor Boyega Babasomi and the wife for their presence. To my wonderful friends and kinsmen for my country home, Obakoko, I especially appreciate the presence of the regent of Obakoko, Princess Aderonke Adegoroye, Odio, and all chiefs from Obakoko. I appreciate other regents from Shupare, Princess Adedeji. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for honoring me. I appreciate His Royal Majesty, Dr. Diolubaka of Okakoko, Dr. Adebori Adeleye, I appreciate you. My people for my country home, Oba Akoko, the gateway to Akoko land. I appreciate the Ashiwaju of Akoko land and the wife, Dr. Chief Olajide Ajana and his wife. I appreciate you. I appreciate Honorable Ade Ogun, member of House of Reps from Oba Akoko. I salute you and praise your presence. The elected and executive chairman of Akoko Southwest local government, Honorable Ayo Ajana. I appreciate you. And when Leo Ibami ati Miluka, Ire Oba Asoju Kedewa o. I appreciate my mother, Mrs. Ajani. I appreciate the presence of my in-laws. You see me, Charlie. I appreciate you. Pastor and Mrs. Richard Adeomi, I appreciate you. I appreciate Dr. Olawale Ayekusi, FCA. I appreciate all of you for your presence. Chief Dr. Fashesi, and when Legede. My people from the grassroots, Ibeware quarters, and the Akibiade royal family in particular, I appreciate your presence. My brother, Lawrence Aluko, I appreciate you. The Igbade cultural group for my root in Ibeware, your presence is unparalleled. And when Leo Eshereo. To my siblings, especially Prince Akisen Origwemisoye and Pastor Modupe Adeomi, thank you for being my surrogate parents. Your love and encouragement mean the world to me. Prince Barrister Folusho Origwemisoye, I appreciate you. My sister, Chief Mrs. Adebiso Onoha, I appreciate you for your presence. Your advice has been a constant source of strength. To my late Prince Oluwatemi Origbemisoye and Chief Mrs. Adebanke Origbemisoye. Your unwavering love and discipline laid the foundation for my success. Daddy, your insistence on mastering multiplication table and lexicon exercises inspired my academic journey. Mommy, your courage and commitment to ensuring all your children became graduates remained unmatched. I wish you both were here to witness this moment. I will forever cherish your memory. I dedicate this inaugural lecture to the memory of my late parents, Prince Oluwatemi Origbemisoye and Chief Mrs. Adebanke Origbemisoye. May their soul rest in perfect peace. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, on behalf Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, on behalf of my other siblings, who are seated here, we are 6 in number. I am number 6 in the family. One person is late. In contribution to knowledge and moving education forward in Nigeria, in Ondo State, and Adekunle Adashin in particular, we wish to immortalize our parents, Prince Oluwatemi and Chief Mrs. Adebanke Origbemisoye of Ibeware Quarters of Akoko by giving an annual scholarship award of 50,000 naira to the best graduating student in English education commencing from year 2025. Because my late father, Prince Oluwatemi Origbemisoye, studied a specialized English language from the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, also, as my own contribution to promoting science education and encouraging more geniuses in chemistry education, I wish to give an annual scholarship award of another 50,000 naira to the best graduating student in chemistry education in the Department of Science Education in our 21st Century University. My gratitude extend to my darling husband. The pillar on which I rest on. Dr. Olatubosun Olajide Omoniyi, a medical consultant and a fellow of West Africa College of Surgeons, FWAS. My encourager, the crown of my head, Olowo Orimi, and my partner, who has stood by me through every challenge. To my blessed children and grandchildren, your love and joy lights up my life. Your reminder to rest and laugh bring balance to my academic process. Finally, I thank all those who have contributed to my journey, including friends, colleagues, and students, past and present, to everyone involved in making this lecture a success. You are be rewarded. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, principal officers of our 21st Century University Property Board, distinguished Senate members, eminent scholars from other universities, our royal and spiritual fathers, dear president, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all the geniuses that have been made appropriate how. I thank you all for listening. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, permit me to end this lecture by singing this song to appreciate God for what He has done in my life. To God be the glory.
Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. You have just listened to the 43rd inaugural lecture of our university titled A Science Classroom Where Everyone is a Genius. Management through Phenomenological Methodology. It was just delivered by Professor Adesoji, Olubunmi Omoniyi. Let's put our hands together once again for. Without taking much of your time, let me invite the chairman of this occasion for his closing remarks. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the 43rd inaugural lecture of our university. And I hope, as individual and as an institution, we must have got one idea or the other from this lecture. A science classroom where everyone is a genius. That's the title. And I want to congratulate Professor Adesoji Olubunmi Omoniyi for delivering a very, very interesting lecture. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to use the opportunity to appreciate and recognize some of our guests that are here seated. The first on the list is His Imperial Majesty, Oba Professor Amunseon, the Kalaswe of Apoi land. Thank you, Kabisi. You are one of us, so we appreciate you. His Royal Majesty, Regent Adebukola, the Regent of Supari Akoko. Thank you, Regent, for coming. Thank you. His Royal Majesty, Regent Adegoroyi Aderonke, the Oloba of Oba Akoko. Thank you very much. That is the Regent. That's the Regent of the inaugural lecturer from Oba Akoko. Gateway to. That's what she said. All traditional chiefs and high chiefs from Oba Akoko, we also recognize you, and I hope they are all seated down there. Thank you very much, sir. Bishop Dr. Ayegusi, also from Oba Akoko. That's our usual bishop. He's not here. Oh, thank you, Bishop. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Let me particularly and especially recognize Mrs. Olukemi Mimiko, wife of our former governor, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko. Thank you for coming, ma'am. Thank you. Let me also recognize Her Excellency, Mrs. Kemi Nyoton, wife of former Deputy Governor of Ondo State. Thank you for coming, ma'am. I'm currently Chairman, National Population Commission, Ondo State. Thank you for coming. Chief Olubunmi, the former Chief of Staff to our former governor, late Arakune Akeredolu. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming. The state chairman of APC, my friend, engineer, chief, Dr. Adetimen, chairman APC Ondo State. Thank you, Chair, for coming. Thank you. We are also always interested in anything development of Adekunle Ajasin University. I thank you for coming again. Professor Francis Gore, the Vice Chancellor, St. Mary's University, Supari Akoko. Prof, thank you. You're also one of us here. Asiwaju Muyiwa Asagunla is also here. Asiwaju Muyiwa Asagunla, all right. Thank you for coming. Adeton Olubukola Federal Medical Center Award. Thank you. Adeton Oluwatoyin Federal Medical Center Award. Thank you. Honorable Ayo Ajana, Executive Chairman, Akoko Southwest Local Government. Is he around? All right. Aha, I've been looking for you. Dr. Omoniyi, the husband of the inaugural lecturer. Thank you so much, sir, for supporting Professor Minister Omoniyi to achieve this feat. Thank you, sir. Olayiwola Omoniyi, the son. Thank you for coming and for supporting mommy. Ogumola Edward. All right. Pastor Mrs. Adewumi Modupe, the sister, thank you for coming. Thank you very, very much. Mr. Origbemisoye Felix Folusho, sorry, Mr. Origbemisoye Folusho, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Professor K.O. Oloruntegbe, yes, also a professor in this university. Mrs. C.F. Oloruntegbe, thank you for coming, ma'am. Dr. Ayodele O. Adiji, thank you, sir. Thank you. Alhaji Akerele, Chief Imam, Supari Akoko, thank you, Baba. We appreciate you. Mr. Origbemisoye Aderinola, thank you for coming. And Chief Mrs. Onuoha Adebisi, thank you. Thank you very, very much. We also have in our midst the Bosa Federal University Oye-Ekiti, Mrs. Adebolanle Debo Ajaguna, Bosa Federal University Oye-Ekiti. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. All our high school set 1982. All our high school set 1982. Thank you. Thank you very much. Idagbasoke Akoko members. Idagbasoke Akoko members. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Let me also appreciate all our deans who are here seated, the directors, members of management, distinguished professors, all of us. Let me use the former Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor Yebade, as a point of contact to all other professors here seated, heads of department, deans of faculties, directors of units, all our non-academic staff. Let me use Mr. Salami, Deputy Registrar, as a point of contact to all of them. Once again, all members of staff, directors, let me use Professor Azan as a point of contact. I greet all members of staff. Chief Miss, I also recognize you. Yeah, thank you for coming. Yes. The inaugural lecturer called you First Lady. And when she called you First Lady, I said, what will this other First Lady say? When Mrs. Olukemi Mimiko, she may have forgotten now, when she attended our wedding several years ago in Itagbolu, when she was then the wife of Commissioner for Health during Governor Lumilua's regime. She didn't know that she would become a First Lady. Now somebody has called my wife a First Lady. Who knows tomorrow? Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for making this inaugural part of your day. And I want to tell you all that we've come to the end of this important program. Shall we all rise as we take AAUA anthem and national anthem? Thank you very much. The Vice Chancellor will now leave the hall in reverse order. Please, let's remain standing. But brigade, please be fast.